What's up, guys? Welcome back to Bar Exam. I'm your host, Allie Rayner, and I'm here with my amazing crew, Mr. Eric G. Say hello.
What's up, y'all?
And Mr. Marcus TV. Say hi,
Yo,
Marcus.
what up? Welcome back.
Thank you, thank you. I'm
It's been a
so glad to
while.
be back. Thanks, guys. I took a small hiatus for my birthday and a little bit of vacation time, but I'm well rested and I'm ready. I'm a year older and I'm ready to get back into it. So, speaking of, trips around the sun, so apparently it is the 40th anniversary of Freaknik. And honestly, I've only heard crazy ass stories about Freaknik and about like how crowded it gets, how crazy twerking gets there, and just like all types of shenanigans happen there. But I definitely wanted to learn a little bit more since we're going to be, carrying on this theme. We figured since it's the 40th anniversary of Freaknik, why don't we talk about some freaky ass hip hop songs? So that's what we're going to be highlighting this episode for Bar Exam. But I think that there's somebody here who could probably better explain it because I don't really know a ton about Freaknik. So I'm hoping Marcus, our hip hop historian, can help us all better understand the phenomenon behind Freaknik.
Oh, that's a crazy title. Not hip hop historian. I'm not even. I'm not. I'm not even that talented. But I'll put my 2 cents in. You
Okay.
know. First of all, I feel like the old dude on the show. Like, damn, freak. And
But like
hey, I'm gonna
wisdom
just
comes, like age comes wisdom, and so like
right.
I'm glad that like at least somebody knows what the hell Freaknik is. I only heard about like like the '90s and like that, but I just realized that it started really in the '80s. So I was hoping that that you could explain a little bit more. I know you're a '90s baby and stuff.
Yeah.
I think right, right?
No, I'm 84. Like,
Okay,
don't do that. Yeah. Let's not.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
only 90s baby here, I feel
Yeah.
like.
I'm not. Yeah. I
I'm a
was.
'90s baby too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. My
Yeah,
bad. I was
yeah,
wrong.
yeah. I
Yeah.
just
Okay.
thought he was like,
No,
in
I'm
the
an
mix.
80s
But it's
baby.
all good. It's all good. Then that
Yeah.
means that you really actually know way more
Yeah,
about this than
so
me.
yeah, because nigga, I was 12. Like, like doing shit that I wasn't supposed to do in fucking 92. Like that's the like, that's the that's the fucked up part about it. Like this is literally my childhood.
No
This is
way.
like when tapes was around. Like, so like the history of it is 1992, Spelman and Morris Brown in Atlanta threw a picnic. Like that's where it originated. It was like two DJs, a picnic, like 150 students, and it was just like for the which are two HBCUs in Atlanta, of course, and it was just a picnic. It was just a party. It was just a picnic. It was like something to wind down students. It was the atmosphere of the day, and it just that what Freaknik turned into in the I can say in the hip hop culture was probably the first thing that we can say was a viral phenomenon. Like it just spread and it spread everywhere. And then it eventually ended up in, Miami, and Two Live Crew, Luke, and South Beach walking down with a camcorder was the the absolute shit because you saw everything, and it was like the camera was recording, but people didn't really know what to do with footage and stuff back then because if you didn't have it was nowhere to share it, so you just saw a camera, you was like, hey, and it just was viral. Like, so I mean, you had because there's so many different versions of like Freaknik stories. We talking about right now, aunties, shit, mamas, like
Just
you
out
you
here.
you talking about people
Oh,
who
crazy.
who's the old like like oh yeah, back in my day you didn't know.
Yeah.
No, I got video footage of your day. I know what you used to do. You didn't, and it wasn't that little
I was like going to
Negro
church every
spiritual shit.
weekend.
Mm,
Nah, you was out here wilding,
Yeah. I
wild.
wonder
yeah,
if it
for
even
real.
started off being called Freaknik. Like, The fact that it was supposed to be a cute little picnic between two HBCUs, I'm sure in their head they're like, this is going to be historic. It's going to be a tradition that we pass down. What we did with it, I'm sure
Hey,
is not what anyone imagined.
hey,
I
real
mean,
shit.
technically, they did pass their tradition down.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
and you
now
want
it's
to
a
know what it
cultural
really
phenomenon,
is?
like you
And I
said.
just thought about this.
Hmm.
It was the fucking 1992 version of fucking Pound Town, like of Sexy
Oh,
Red,
Yeah.
like
that mentality,
that
yes.
mentality. Like it's
Mhm.
like
For
it
sure.
didn't go away. It was birthed at Freaknik. Like I mean, it,
Right. You're right. And honestly, like I think it's funny because I always knew a little bit about Freaknik growing up, not enough though. And so like I
you know
always
why,
felt as
don't
though,
you?
huh?
You know why, don't you?
Well, because my parents were smart and try to keep that away from me. But I wish that like I knew more about it then, because then when my parents told me shit about like, oh, y'all dancing all crazy and y'all twerking, so I would have actually had like evidence. I would have been able to be like, no, you started this shit.
Yeah.
It's not just an our generation thing. Like they are the reason that we're like this, you know? So but I think it's great. I think it's fun. I think it's different. Before we even started recording, we were talking about like Caribbean culture and like how dancing like that has always been a thing, you know? So maybe we might not realize that it has become a cultural thing, but you know, for Americans as well. But you know, like it's us kind of passing down that tradition, even though it's a little bit wild, it's a little bit different. You know, I think that we need to be a little bit more open. You know, and that's what Freaknik is. Like every year, I feel like people just go crazy, get freaky, get wild, have fun, and then you know, like they go back to their regular lives and they act like normal people. You know, sometimes you got to get out of your system. You know what I mean?
So Allie, who was your cool auntie growing up? The one that you.
Oh, Coco, my auntie Coco. She already got a cool name. Like,
So I bet you Auntie. I'm not saying she was on tape. I'm not saying that. I'm saying Auntie Coco had a tape put up at her original house when you was growing up that you never even knew was there.
I don't doubt it. And you know, I honestly think that my mom might have been a part of the crew just because I've seen photos of like her hairstyles from back in the day and shit, and it's given a lot of Freaknik. Like, you know, with the big old curls and the updo, and okay, I got the bang right now, but her bang was way more dramatic. You know what I mean? So I just feel, and then her outfits too, like, you know, I feel like there's a lot of those. What are those? Remember those poses, like those 90 poses where you would have like the crazy ass backdrop
Mm-hmm.
and then like two bitches in the front bent over, the one in the back is grabbing ass, the niggas in the back with the 40. Like I feel like if
With
I
the
go through
40.
my mom's shit, I'm gonna find that. I feel like it.
Are you gonna ask her?
I feel like I want to find it because I think that she's the type to be like, "Oh, those don't exist," and then like go find them and burn the evidence. You feel me? So I feel like I want to just be like, "Mom, I would really love to go through your memories, your photos, and I'm just gonna do a little bit more snooping, a little bit more digging." But yeah, I think that they exist. I don't
Yeah.
care what she says.
The
I know she's
fact
a
that all
God-fearing
of
woman,
this
but still.
existed on VHS
Oh
and
yeah,
there
you're
are no
right.
Oh
That's
my
there
another
God,
thing. We don't
yeah.
use VHS, so it could be up there, and I just don't know.
and hold on, I'm gonna tell
It's all
you this.
blurry.
VHS was the expensive cameras. If you had like a VHS camcorder, that you was
Really?
like kind of balling. Like that was it. Man, if you had like a what was it, like a high 8 or the little small handheld ones that
Yeah.
needed the adapter, that's where most of this. But if you had that big boombox VHS camcorder, you was like the news crew coming through. They was like, where is your footage going?
You were official.
Like it was a wild time.
I love that. I love it. So okay, so we talked a little bit about Freaknik. You know, we gave everybody a little bit of history. So now we actually got to get into songs that we feel like, you know, Freaknik might have been inspired by, or maybe started this whole cultural wave kind of a thing. You know, just freaky in general. So does anybody want to start with their song selection? Anybody got a good one? Because I got some good ones over here.
I got some good ones too.
I got some good ones too.
I go
Okay.
first.
All right. Whoever wants to start, by all means.
So I'm gonna go with a classic, and it's the lyrics that are the classic, but it's more so the sound effect, and that's Trillville Some Cut. because when you heard the bed squeak for the first, let's say, 20, 30 seconds of the song, then you already knew what was finna. You was like, what it is, ho? What's up? Like you already was in a vibe. You was in a mood. When the DJ was mixing and doing what, and you heard that, that was better than the actual song. That was better than the hook. It was the sound effect for the first 20 seconds of the bed squeak that has never been replicated. No one is. I mean, no one has even sampled it. Like it's
No,
not.
actually, I feel like people do sample it. I feel like because they can't actually like replicate that feeling and that vibe. I feel like I've heard it. Like there's one recently. I feel like maybe she didn't redo the entire song, but she used it for like parts of her shows. Victoria Monet, I want to say Victoria
I had
Monet,
to
where
research it.
she basically, I feel like she kind of brought it back to being like a viral song all over again. Not that it really needed help with that, but she made like this dance with it for one of her like concerts or something. And her dancers like break it all down. And then I guess people thought it was like, oh shit, like this is actually dancing. And they used that sample in the background. And people were like, I know that song. Like maybe I can learn this little two-step. People put it on TikTok. And now it's like this viral big old thing. This other artist named Doechii, she's a little bit eccentric. She's different, but she's fun. And so she also remixed it too. She didn't use the bed squeak, but she did use the what it is, ho, what's up? Like she does it in a fun, like, a lighter kind of way, and we're in like poppier. And they do it in more like, gangsta smooth, like trying to, spit game kind of a way. So I think that you're right though, Marcus. I do think that people have tried to give you that vibe, but like it's kind of hard to. So a lot of times they just use that squeak. And I can't blame them. Like, I know I go crazy every time I hear it. I know exactly, or I feel like I know exactly what's going to play. And then now they try to remix it, do something different. So I'm like, oh, okay, this is the same song, but not really. You know what I mean?
I got you. I feel that.
Yeah. But Eric,
You
what do you
right
think
though,
about that
Marcus.
song?
That when the DJ starts playing that, they'll rewind that like 5, 6, 7 times.
Oh yeah.
Before they even get to the actual part where they're just letting it ride out until the beat drops. So you're absolutely right about that.
Yes, I love it. I mean, you're so right. It's super iconic. I love that you picked that one, Marcus, for sure. For sure. Okay, so Eric, what about yours? What's your pick?
So mine is I feel like mine is a little bit in the same vein as Some Cut, because it's a song that nobody has ever replicated trying to do it quite like this before. There's a few whisper rappers out here now, but when they did it, it was absolutely iconic at that point. And that's the Yin Yang Twins, and that's when they did Wait, the Whisper song. And that's just one of those records. It's just, they just showed, first of all, how versatile and hilarious they are, because who back then was thinking of making a whole song whispering? You know what I'm saying? And then just the content of the record. And I think this was around the time when like videos were like still like really important to songs. This video was wild, especially because back then they had versions that was like a clean version of a video and then like an explicit version. And they had an explicit version of this song and it was crazy. So this was just one of those records that, like, as soon as it, again, same with Some Cut by Trillville, as soon as the DJ starts spinning it, you automatically know what's about to happen. It's just one of those records. And it was one before like snap music was really popping, so it had the little snaps in it and whatnot. So that was just one of those records where no matter when you heard it, like everyone in the club was just immediately hitting the floor immediately. So yeah, that was one of the ones for sure that I was like, yeah, that's got to be on this list.
Absolutely. Even now, when I hear that song, I'd be like, "Oh shit!" Like, "Oh, the freaks finna show themselves!" Like every time.
And it's cool that you mentioned the Yin Yang Twins with Whisper, because that really was like a freaky ass. Like, you got to think you see my dick.
Yeah, man.
Like,
I used to hear the clean
Like,
version for so
The clean
long.
version is the funniest shit. Wait till you see my. Oh.
Yes. I didn't
So-
know. So for the longest, I was like, wait till you see my what? Like, what the fuck is these niggas talking
So-
about? So when I was in the club and they was like, wait till you see my dick, I was like, I am too old to just now realize what the fuck this song is
So
talking
I'd
about.
even go worse than that. The radio edit was like this stupid clown horn. Wait till you see my and it was
No.
like
Yeah, it was bad.
it was
bad.
a horrible sound effect. Like it was
Ah.
it was
You
it
might
was
as well
like,
just dipped it down. Might as
yeah,
well
it was
just
like
muted it
minstrel
for
song,
me.
like like it was really bad.
What a way to kill the vibe too.
Because
Like,
in
of
one of the
all
versions,
things.
the girl is moaning in it. And then in the version, Marcus, that you're talking about, they're just making clown noises or whatever.
And that was, and I only remember that because I played that like on a radio show when like it came out, and that was part of the DJ service package that came out, and it was called, like, you had a clean. Everybody know you get a clean, a dirty, and a radio. This was super squeaky clean radio edit. I promise you, all of those words were in there. Super squeaky clean radio edit was like the entire for that track, and that's not even. And
That's crazy.
Not even their worst.
Mm-mm.
And honorable mention for the Yin Yang Twins before we move on. That's not even their worst lyric, like our worst song, because
You don't think so?
No,
I'm
the
looking at
Lil
the lyrics
Jon.
now. I'm like, he's
Like-
talking about some wait till you see my dick, and then I'm gonna beat that pussy up. And I'm like, okay, all right. And then it's just like a complete like few bars, just repeating that over and over and over and over and over and over. I'm like,
I'm gonna
Jesus.
show you it wasn't their best one. From the window
To the wall. Even white
till
folks
sweat
know that
drop
one.
down
And I
my
will say,
balls.
that,
That
and
is
hold on, we ain't gonna go. We gonna go into the first line of his verse. I done came in the club about 11 times. You what? You came in the club
Oh, you feel like he meant like
61
that?
times?
I thought he meant like I done pulled up to the club about 11 times.
No, I done came in the club about 11 times.
All right, that's my swear to tell the truth. I'm just I never perfected that shit ever. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my
That is
god.
disgusting. Wow.
And then you can't even say 61. You got to break it down. 50-11.
11 times. I love when people say that shit though. I don't know who the fuck invented that, but perfect.
Yeah.
Dude, I used to love that song. You're right. What else? What else is crazy as shit in that song? There's a lot.
it's a lot. Yeah. Wait till I see your panty line. Like,
What? Yo, I remember because it used to be like the clean version was like, no, even the dirty version. No, I'm thinking of the dirty. It was like can I play with your panty line? Club owner told me that I need to calm down. Like I don't have this southern accent like them. I can't do it as well. But you're right. That shit was lit. That was
wild.
And recently I saw this video, and I feel like this really like shows that a song is just undeniable. Like even though it's crazy as fuck what they're saying, but it's a hit. I saw this video where they were in this office setting and there's this white secretary, I guess, like on the other side of the room. And this guy is just recording her. And the song is playing in the background. And he's just like waiting and waiting. And finally they get back to the verse or the hook where it's like, to the window, to the wall. And then out of nowhere, Karen goes, to the sweat drops down my balls. And then she's just going with it. And I was just like, and dude was waiting because he must have known this was her shit. She kept it so the entire time. She's just like straight face. And once that line hit, you can't help but say it. Even when you did, like growing up, I didn't know shit about no balls, nothing like, but I had to say that. I had to say that line every time. So it's iconic. It's definitely a Freaknik inspired song.
Like how when Back That Ass Up comes, like plays, everybody will like just start. Even the bitches with weak knees will attempt to back that ass up. and like pull something that they didn't know they still had. Like like that.
Yes, all of a sudden they want to test it today.
Yeah, like that's their version of whatever they go. Oh, girl, what? And then it don't matter.
Waking up the next morning, girl, why'd you let me go on the dance floor?
You know
That stuff came on.
Like, man, because I knew I couldn't stop you, motherfucker. That's why.
Yeah. So what you got, Allie?
Okay, so it was a hard decision. This is gonna sound really crazy. I was like, do I decide between the song that I realized I might have been a freak growing up, or do I decide to pick the song that I realized my parents were a little bit of freaks themselves growing up? So which one should I start with? Mine or theirs?
I'm gonna say start with the parents.
Yeah, start with parents.
Don't put yourself, because I don't. Yeah.
Okay, deal. Okay, I can do that. So the one that made me really look at my mom real different, because she was doing a whole lot of she was very into the church around this time, like soon before this song came out. She was super in the church, and she was like one of those people that like was a bit strict. You couldn't say freak around her, when you were like a kid and you wanted to say fuck, but you were like, freak this, she was like, we ain't doing that. Okay, so when this song came out and it became her ringtone, I was like, who the fuck is this lady? Okay, this is not the same woman who raised me. So this song is called Freaky Girl by Gucci Mane. And the first time I ever heard of this shit was, like I said, a ringtone off my mom's phone. And it just started like, she's a very freaky girl. Get it from her mama. And I was like, what is this? Like, okay. And then it was like, then you get some in the front seat of the Hummer. And so at the time, she had like the clean version, on her as her ringtone or whatever, when that was a big deal. She had like the razor and all that. So at the time, I was like, what is this song or whatever? And so I remember like going online and looking it up because my mom wouldn't like really tell me what the fuck was about. I was like, who is this, mom? And like, why is it your ringtone all of a sudden? Like, what the fuck you know about being a freaky girl? But I looked it up and I figured out who the fuck Gucci Mane was, and I realized I fuck with the song too. But I was like, this is definitely one of those, like, I gotta let my mom just have it, because if she finds out I'm over here talking about then you get some brain in the front seat of the Hummer, I'm dead. I am grounded forever. So, I let her have her little moment until I was about like 16, 17, and I was like, Mom, nah, you wild as fuck for that. And even now, I think I need to bring it up to her. And when she tells me that I'm listening to freaky ass songs, I need to be like, no. Let's remember what the fuck you were getting into.
I like this song because, one, when it came out, we had this thing called, so in the school here, we got this thing where everybody goes to Six Flags on Hazelwood Day. It's called like the school district Hazelwood. You get to go to Six Flags on Hazelwood Day. So on Hazelwood Day, most people would get like a rental car, and you was judged on like what kind of rental car you got. So this high school year, we had a Hummer, and it was yellow, and we was on the Six Flags parking lot, and this song came on. I was like, you know what? I want some brain in the front seat of the Hummer. Real shit on the Six Flags parking lot. I lived my best life.
No, you didn't.
I lived my best life. Like it was what a time to be alive. Like
you actually lived what niggas was like just singing.
Niggas was rapping about on the radio, and you got
that's hard.
Like that's
that is really hard.
Yeah. Like,
sometimes I'll be like, what am I gonna get myself?
Yeah, like
front seat of a Hummer.
And it's one of those stories. Like I'm like, you know what?
Yeah, where I live. You tell your grandkids. You thought that was just a catchy song, nigga. I lived it. Me and Gucci.
You made it a hot line. I made it a hot song.
Yes, and I just would say this about I was a big nigga then. I'm a big nigga now. The gear shift on how it has, like, GM should have had a column shift because where the press the button, it
all in the way. messing up.
Well, it was in her
technically.
way. I was in the front,
Right.
like, yeah. So you got, yeah.
So
To be in the front seat, you constantly hitting the gear shift. So yeah.
well, damn, they should have known that years ago. Maybe they still be in business making Hummers and shit.
They got
They just switched it up a little bit. But that's awesome. That's hilarious, actually. I love that.
Yeah, fantastic story.
Okay, we really is bringing out the freaks with these songs. I love it.
Man.
I love it. Okay. But yeah, that's probably one of my favorite picks. I still love that song. That shit still goes. But okay, Eric, what about you? What's one of your picks?
Okay, so my second pick is we're gonna throw back to a person that you know is a running, well, not a running joke, but a very early joke on the show. But I wanted to talk about Petey Pablo, and in specific, I wanted to talk about a song since we talking about freaks.
Yeah.
I might as well bring up Freaknik.
You can't do it without him.
Gotta bring that one up. I mean, first of all, I didn't know that this song was produced by Lil Jon for the longest time. I did not know that, but after going back and like figuring that out, like it makes like total perfect sense. But this is just one of those records I remember being like one of the first records I remember hearing like as like a young like freshman in high school, where like all the homies was just like, I don't know what I'm doing right now, but the second this comes on, I'm going to the dance floor and I'm finding a girl and I'm doing my thing. And this was just one of those ones where it was like, you remember being in the spot and looking around the club and seeing the homies when certain songs come on who didn't get no play. This was one of those ones where if you just looked around and somebody wasn't getting no play, you just looked around like with the sad face out. I'm like, oh, that's too bad.
Bro.
Damn. Like, that's too bad. And I feel like this was also one of like the first, again, going back to videos, I feel like these songs, videos was like a very important part of getting the image across. Like, this was when like they had like choreographed twerking. Like where there was just like where they had a whole dance sequence to twerking going crazy, but they did that shit for the whole damn video, and that shit looked great. Like, that shit made the song even better. That shit made the image of the song even better. So I feel like Freaknik was definitely one of those ones where it was like, yeah, if you in the club and you ain't getting no play to this, like, damn, sorry, bro.
Yeah. And I feel like there's so many good ass parts of this song too. That's what also makes it undeniable. So like, yes, we all know the part where she's like, how you like it, daddy? And I feel like that's catchy and you get into it or whatever. But I just love the shit that he says that now that you're an adult, you're like, whoa, like this motherfucker was wilding in the club. Like the sniff a little coke, take a little X, smoke a little weed, like
drink a little bit.
Like, what the fuck were we talking about? Like, I remember going to like teen clubs and hearing this song and like not thinking anything of it, at the time, but like, bro, what the hell? That sounds like a weekend at fucking Freaknik. And then like I love the part where he does like the names, because I feel like now like people love doing that part, or like I feel like now if you try and make like a viral song, you try and take bits and pieces from other people who have really successful songs like this. And so like who was it? Like was it DMX who also made a song that was like, first there was Kim and Christy, about three of them. Was it DMX?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, so I feel like
Arnez and Alicia, Rhonda, LaShawn.
Yes. Yeah. And he had like, Petey has a part like that in this. So I'm like, I think that
what is Brenda? Hey, that nigga had all the auntie names.
Right. All these bitches me. Shauna, Sabrina, Crystal, Rhonda, Lisa, Felicia, Onisha, Siobhan. Siobhan was definitely at a few Siobhans was at Freaknik. Monica, yeah. Monique, Christina, Shamika, Keisha. I feel like you can't do a damn song without saying Keisha. And then he just goes back through his list all over again. So yeah, all of these ladies were definitely.
You get head in 2023 from a Brenda. That's a cougar.
Really? Brenda's a cougar?
The way he said it,
Yeah.
Brenda. Like we ain't talking. I'm Brenda. 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 Like
Brenda does sound like she got like kids who are out of the house.
yeah. and it's that respect. It's that respect name too. Who you here to see? I'm here to see Miss Brenda.
Miss Brenda. It's always Miss Brenda. You got a point.
Yeah.
You got a damn point. So yeah.
He did. You know, it's funny now that you even mentioned it. The more the the longer the hook goes, the more enthusiastic he gets about the names he's saying.
Yes.
Towards the end, he'd be like, Monique, Christina.
Hey, but if
I used to love that shit.
Hey, but if you want to know where he got it from, I got to give homage to the original.
Who?
He got that shit from Too Short.
Really?
For real?
These are the tales, the freaky tales. These are the tales that are told so well. You don't like my dirty raps, you can go to hell. Cause Short Dog is on the mic doing cocktails, and then he would have like, go research.
I know what song you're talking about. I just can't think of the name of it. I know what song you're talking about though.
I knew a girl. Her name was Monique. Like he had real story. Like I feel like every bitch he named in them clips on Freaky Tales.
Wow.
Like
that's the name of it, Freaky Tales.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I gotta go back to 1 and 2. Okay.
Word.
I'm gonna look it up for sure because I need to understand this history of where we decided to get this trend from. But I love that it comes from like storytelling. Like that's the best. That's the fucking best shit. I mean, now we probably need some work in that, but like in storytelling wise. But I do love that people take, good parts and they try and make it their own in other songs. So who knows? Maybe we'll see some more. I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard of a Freaknik remix or like a sample.
Sweetie did one, but it wasn't that good.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
no shots or anything. It just wasn't the same. Like that's one of those where if you're gonna flip that, you got to do it right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, seriously, you got to be very, very careful touching these hits, like these classic hits.
I feel like this needs a part 2. I feel like this episode needs a part 2.
Oh yeah, because I feel like there's so many that we could have like rammed into this. Like I can't lie, I think that we're talking about like kind of like older songs, but there's so many like new songs and like that are happening right now. Like I really wanted to mention WAP. I'm not even gonna lie. I feel like that it definitely needs.
So
WAP is definitely up there.
WAP, right? So it's funny that y'all mentioned WAP because that's one of the songs that my mom knows, and my mom knows today.
Yeah,
because they worked out to it, but they edited, so she didn't know at the fucking YMCA what WAP was. They just fucking doing these fucking cadences and shit, and they're doing all of these songs, and then like she's like, oh, I really like that Megan Thee Stallion girl. Like you're a whole fucking Megan Thee Stallion. And then like I know I'm probably going to hell, but oh well, I'll probably see some familiar faces.
Right.
So when she was like, what does WAP stand for? I told her worship and praise. I did. I ain't even gonna lie.
I can't lie. When
that's
that
great.
Song first came out.
I
love that. I think that's genius. Worship and praise.
That is great.
Genius.
Yeah, I heard it on the internet, and I was like, yeah,
Yes, that was the way to go. Because when I first heard it, I didn't know what the fuck. Because I think I first, because they had done such a big deal about their YouTube release of it. So I think on YouTube they have so many different guidelines and stuff that at the time they just kept saying WAP, but then she kept being like wet and gushy, and I was like, I just can't. Like I like it, I love the intro. Some hoes in this house. There's some hoes in this house. Like that's lit. But I didn't understand what the fuck WAP was. And I kept being like, how does wet and gushy turn to WAP? You know what I mean? And then
once Cardi starts rapping within the first like maybe bar, maybe 2, you immediately know.
Yeah, once you hear the dirty version, but when you hear the clean version, they're like, like they go like they just like stop it, like right before they say it, or they say something like the gushy, like wet and gushy. And I was like, okay, I'm not understanding the connect. Like, what the fuck is a WAP? And so I think that's why I really wanted to mention it because they made up a whole word. Like that was, I don't think I'd ever heard of that term ever in my life before that song came out. So
Oh nobody
Nah.
was saying that. No.
right, they just
Yeah.
made some shit up, and I feel like that's one of those things that it's actually interesting because a lot of times it goes the other way around, where like the internet coins it, and then an artist goes like, oh, okay, I'm gonna make this my own, I'm gonna make a song around it. But instead, they were like, we're gonna make some shit up, and everybody's just gonna get on board because if they freaks, they gonna love it. And yeah, a lot of us realize we're freaks. Marcus, your mom might think that she's worshiping and praising, but deep down, she's a hot girl. She liked what she likes. So shout out to Marcus's mom. I hope that she now knows the real meaning.
Yeah.
And she's not going to church like.
Oh no, you be
y'all
surprised.
Got walk in on the weekend.
So that's not what it was. That the first version of that where I got embarrassed by my mom was fucking Flow Rider with the boots with the fur with the apple and they like it's because they was like get low, and that was with that weak knee shit. You gotta hit what I mentioned earlier. You gotta help this motherfucker up now because they done fucking tried to get low talking to Flow Rider like they fucking still got it. No, you done fucking tore your meniscus in your knee. Now you gotta go to rehab.
Hey, it was that and pop lock and drop it too.
Yo,
if you was trying to pop lock and drop it and your knees is weak.
When that song first came out, I used to be able to do that shit. No problem. Now, if I do that shit, I am literally the sound effects for the fucking song. My knees are popping. My back is locking up. Like, it is embarrassing. I cannot.
And that's
an
STL.
You're right.
That is a STL classic, rest in peace, Huey. But that everybody loves that song.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. I didn't even realize. Thank you, Marcus. Definitely rest in peace, Huey. Yeah, I completely forgot. I think, didn't he pass away a couple years ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was definitely a hit, though.
But it still goes. Song still goes. Still gets played.
For sure.
We just had 314 Day. It was.
I bet that was going up.
Can you educate me? What is 341 Day?
Oh, so well, shit, real quick. So March 14th, because our area code here in St. Louis is 314. So it started at a club promotion night that we was like that this guy DJ on air, Young Dip, and it was another promoter. I can't think of the promoter name. He was like, I'm gonna throw a party on 314 Day. And it was just a one club night, on things like Tuesday the 14th type shit. And it was like the city celebrating like the best of the city. And then it like over the years caught on unofficially. Now St. Louis has become the originator of 314 Day. Other cities took it. So there was
really?
Yeah, so there was
How the hell are you gonna take something that's not your area code?
Because
they'll model after their own area.
They took so Detroit, Detroit took it. Detroit tried to take it with 313 Day. And then there was Memphis has it on 901 Day. There was across the river here in East St. Louis is 618 Day. So it caught on as like a promoter theme party. But here in the city, it's a holiday. Like they give the mayor's proclamations. What they've done in the last 2 years with it is really embraced it. And the Cardinals, the Blues, it's 314 Day. It's a real staple day. That's why we didn't have no show on 314 Day, because I was outside.
Okay, I didn't understand. I was like, I don't know what he's out doing, living his best life. I was happy for you. I just didn't know what the hell was going on. I was like, he deserves a break. We all do. Shit.
I wasn't in the front seat of the Hummer best life, but I was definitely outside.
Good. Okay, well, that's pretty cool. Thank you for educating us on that. I actually kind of now want to know about, like you said, there's so many other cities that have that do that kind of stuff. So that's really dope. And I think that it just shows Black people, we really, really bring the culture. Our traditions might not be what everyone else does. You know what I mean? But we always have fun. We always make it something different and unique. I love that. So that's awesome. And I'm glad that we talked about this. We definitely had fun with the Freaky Songs episode. But I think maybe, Marcus, you're right. Maybe we do need a part 2 because there's just so many amazing hip hop songs that have just changed like an entire, or maybe changed, I don't know about, maybe a little bit influenced an entire generation. I mean, I think that we now understand why there's so much twerking. After this conversation, I'm like, I'm going to definitely go back and blame my mom for sure. I'm going to be like, it starts with you.
Real shit. I think twerking should become an Olympic sport.
Yo, I agree. I mean, I think that they did have like pole dancing. Like,
no, I'm talking about Olympic twerking.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like the
I feel like pole is acrobatics. Like you got to be able to flip. We talking about twerk. Like
you know what? My brain just went to something super disgusting. So you know what? Yeah, we'll start with your idea first, and then I'll just.
I want to know where your brain went.
You know what?
Because people.
Eric wants to know too. You got
No, I don't.
I was
maybe
thinking
not. Maybe
because,
not
like,
on air. I don't. Not on air. I don't.
It's on like this is gonna become a Freaknik Olympic, like category or event, because I feel like we always find some way to like say something crazy and wild, and immediately I thought of like when you twerk and niggas be like, "Oh, but you can't do it on a dick" or whatever. You know what I mean? So that's why I was like, this might become like a Freaknik thing. I don't know about an Olympic thing, but definitely would become like, if the Freaknik Olympics were to become a thing, that would be definitely on the list of categories.
Wow.
Okay.
Brenda from Miami will be doing it with 11 inches inside of her.
Yo, seriously. Because okay, really quick. Do you guys remember when they did, I don't know if it was exactly Freaknik, but it was like a Freaknik themed party, and they did the cucumber challenge. Like, that was really fucking
I remember that.
Okay?
Yeah,
I'm talking about motherfuckers just having like, not actually doing it, but just acting like they're gonna do it. These motherfuckers was actually doing it on camera, so I didn't mean like that, not actually, doing it. I'm just saying, I'm sure like one of the categories would be, let's see if she can, do it on the chair. Can she do it on a handstand? And you know what I mean? Like, it's gonna...
I'm just waiting for the commentators and then when they have to like do the
like when they have to judge it.
They have to judge it and then they have to say the names,
I would love that. I feel like Trick Daddy is gonna be on that panel. Cardi maybe
Too Short will be on that panel.
Who?
Too Short.
Too Short. Gotta. Like, that would be Juicy J. Man, that would be lit. I would watch that shit. You know how we were getting really into Versus for a second? I would watch the fuck out of that shit like it was Versus all over again. I swear to God.
Watch all the judges huddle and then, all right, ma'am, your twerking was quite adequate tonight. Come back tomorrow. Come back tomorrow for round 2.
There and like does his like proper voice.
Right, it gets all proper with it.
I just want to judge it like the All-Star game, so you can like the dunk contest, and they be like, she pulled out isolation. This side was moving. This side was still. This side was moving. This side was.
Yeah, like imagine the replays on that shit. Like, honestly, motherfuckers would easily pay like pay-per-view for this easily. So I feel like the moral of the story is we might need to start a whole new segment for Freaknik Olympics ourselves. Maybe we need to put that in the
Olympic OnlyFans.
Yo, we're thinking. But anyway, guys.
Money.
Right, ching, 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 ching. No, but anyway, guys, I hope that you guys really love this episode. And remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Check in with us every Monday for more conversations like this. Maybe we'll do a part 2. Who knows? This was fun. This was spicy. Give us some of your suggestions in the comments. And we will see you guys on the next one. This is Bar Exam. Bye, guys.